Hi, I'm Jason. I have a question for you. Can you always separate the art from the artist? Because I have trouble doing it. In fact, I'm not sure if it is possible or necessary. Please hear me out. Leave any comments you like. I want to know how you feel. I made a video on a similar topic before, one about whether it was okay to watch the Sandman series on Netflix, considering everything that has come out about Neil Gaiman. Truth be told, I really liked the series, and I thought the actors, cinematographers, set designers, everyone involved did a fantastic job at bringing the world of the dream to life. At the same time, even though nothing had been decided in any courts and is still not decided at the time I'm making this video, I could see the argument that supporting the series was possibly putting money in Gaiman's pockets. Then again, hadn't he already been paid when Netflix optioned his works to make the series? Does watching it now, well after that fact, add any more money to his bank account? I know it helps out the actors who get residuals. As long as that series is available for viewing and people watch it, they should get some checks, right? That is part of the problem. In a collaborative medium, it seems unfair in a way to punish the entire group for the actions, however egregious, of one person. An example I gave in that Sandman video was Harvey Weinstein. His name is tied to so many films as a producer like Reservoir Dogs, Shakespeare in Love, Master and Commander, which I loved, Good Will Hunting. It's really ridiculous how many things have his name attached. I don't think he gets residual checks in prison, but to be on the safe side, is it better to never watch any of those films just because he was connected to their production? Where is the line? I'm asking this again now for two reasons. One is recent and involves loss of life. The other is also recent but ties into a world-renowned icon. Before that, a few more examples of not being sure where the line should be drawn. How about an author who depicts racial stereotypes of black people as animal skin-wearing pygmies? Or another author who supported the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II and espoused the necessity of killing, quote, Japs, unquote. Or another author who viewed white people as the superior race and disparaged non-whites to the point of villainizing so-called interbreeding. These attitudes are so distasteful, right? Should we support authors with attitudes like that by reading their works or watching other media based on them? Should we stop reading Roald Dahl, Dr. Seuss, and H.P. Lovecraft? They're all dead, I know, and can't benefit directly from the support of readers and viewers, but should that matter? Should we just write it off as it was how things were back then? We shouldn't judge them by today's cultural norms. Does that matter? Where is the line? I loved Ender's Game, and I also liked a couple of the sequels, but I never read everything Orson Scott Card put out. When the movie adaptation of Ender's Game came out, I was disappointed. I thought the casting of some characters was wrong, and it took me right out of the movie. I later learned that one reason that film did badly at the box office was online criticism of Card's political views, kind of a call for a boycott of the film because of anti-LGBT sentiment, among other things. When I looked into it, I found that I didn't like Card as a person. Yet I still liked Ender's Game and would recommend it to anyone who wanted a good book to read. I'm not interested in reading anything else by him, though, not now, but I still like what I liked, and I can't undo that. Does recommending Ender's Game to a friend, resulting in that friend buying a copy and thus putting money in Orson Scott Card's pocket, seem hypocritical? Where is the line? What would you do about Orson Scott Card, Roald Dahl, Dr. Seuss, H.P. Lovecraft, films that Harvey Weinstein helped produce? Boycott it even if you liked it before all of this darkness was revealed? I'm not interested in reading anything Neil Gaiman writes from here on out, but will he even get a chance to have anything published with the reputation he has now? Would I watch an adaptation of something he wrote that I liked before I knew all of this creepy stuff? I guess it depends who else is involved, but I can't say for sure. Here's what made me want to revisit this topic now. I was watching an episode of Invincible a few years ago. There was a snippet of a song that I liked. No idea who it was by, but I could hang on to some of the lyrics, just enough to search for it online and eventually find the song on YouTube. It was Feel It by David, stylized as D4VD. It was a banger. I checked out some other things he put out and learned a little more about him. He made his own music using an app on his phone, released it online, rose to some prominence. He was 16 or 17 when one of his singles, Romantic Homicide, made a splash. The song My House Is Not a Home really resonated with me. So mature, so wise, so lyrically and melodically impressive. Now he is on trial for the murder of a 14-year-old girl whom he was romantically linked with, among other things almost as horrible. What a shock. The trial is not over, but all signs point to guilty. Can I still like My House Is Not a Home? Can I still be moved by it, impressed by it, affected by it? Can I separate the art from the artist? Should I? The other thing, something also recent but linked to a household name, a true icon, Michael. The new biopic about the rise of Michael Jackson as the lead singer of the Jackson 5, up until his days as a solo artist, culminating with the release of his third solo album, Bad, and the subsequent world tour. It is hard to divorce the name Michael Jackson from his increasingly erratic behavior in his later life. It is hard to set aside the highly likely possibility that he did improper things with children. It is hard for me to think of Michael Jackson and not see the face mutilated by excessive plastic surgeries, and not remember how divorced he seemed from reality in various interviews and documentaries in the years approaching his death. I don't really know much of Jackson's work after the Bad album, to be honest. Part of that was that I moved to Japan in 1991 and no longer followed the music scene like I had while living in Canada, not listening to FM radio because I didn't drive in Japan, not watching much music, Canada's MTV, because it wasn't available over here. I caught a few songs now and then, but for me, Michael's heyday ended in the late 80s. Now, I have no interest in checking out what I missed. I was sad when he died in 2009, but I didn't watch This Is It. I didn't want to tarnish the memory I had of Jackson from the early days of Rock With You, She's Out of My Life, Billie Jean, Human Nature, Thriller, Smooth Criminal. I loved those songs when they came out, and I love them today. And is that okay? Can I enjoy the musicality, the artistry, the impact those songs have on me even now, after 3 decades or more? Can I still listen to Ben without connecting it to the creepy Michael Jackson who had an abnormal infatuation with children? That is the question. Where is the line? The film Michael hasn't done too well at the box office in its opening weekend so far. I wonder how it will do worldwide. The movie has taken a beating by critics, with 39% on Rotten Tomatoes and 39 out of 100 on Metacritic. On Rotten Tomatoes, though, the audience score is 97%. Just nostalgia? People who don't buy into the reputation Michael Jackson has developed, or who look past it and enjoy the music? People who separate the art from the artist? Does it help that the film ends with Bad, before all of the real dirt started to come out? Is it wise of the filmmakers to stop there, or is it cowardly? Dishonest. I don't plan to watch Michael, at least not in theaters. If I want to see young Michael, the Michael I admired, the Michael who entertained me so much, I can find that Michael on YouTube and watch him to my heart's content. Not buying a movie ticket? Is it because I don't want to support an incomplete, dishonest legacy film? Is it because nothing can live up to the reality of the actual Michael? Is it because I don't need new Michael Jackson material because anything after Bad is somehow soiled? I don't know, but I don't plan on seeing it in theaters. Maybe on streaming later. Anyway, I am conflicted. Where is the line? How do you feel? Total boycott in such instances? No boycott, but no purchases so you don't feed the beast? If the person is dead, is that different? How about collaborative media like movies? Please weigh in and let me know how you feel. Also, leave a like if you made it this far, share this with anyone who might have an opinion on this, and consider subscribing to my channel for more videos about entertainment topics of all kinds. Everything helps and I would really appreciate it. I'm Jason. Thanks for watching. See you next time.